Good day, it's Tony Fortunato from the technology firm. Today I'm going to show you how to create customized graphs from Wireshark trace files, and we're going to use OpenOffice to do so. Now there's a ton of apps out there that will take a trace file and do a report for you. Some are free, some you pay for, some aren't that great, some are complicated. So hopefully this will give you an idea of how to do this thing manually. So if you do decide to go to the next level and pay for a product, at least you understand how it works. Now, I also, when I show this to people in my sessions, there's always somebody in the room that says, hey, I can do a database, I can do this, that. Yeah, sure, knock yourself out. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and then you can always take it to the next level. So first thing, obviously, is go get the software, Wireshark and or OpenOffice. Wireshark and OpenOffice have Linux, Mac, and Windows versions of their software. So this is a multi-platform approach. And the most important part to all of this is that you want to go from this text file, like you see here, and I say text in a sense that it's a trace file with a bunch of stuff in it, and we want this to look like a graph, right? So that way the spikes, the peaks, the valleys, things like that look more obvious rather than in between packets and delta times at this type of level. So the first thing we're going to do is in Wireshark, you're going to change your time display format. So that's view, time display format, time of day, and seconds. That's the preferred format. Now in some cases I've also done seconds since beginning of capture, and that gives me like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of a stopwatch format. But usually we want the time of day, because if you are doing a trace file and it's Sunday at 2 a.m., you want to make sure people know it's Sunday, not Monday at 3 p.m. when loads may be higher and that sort of thing, right? So the time of day is kind of important for me personally, but you can do any kind of format you like. The important part is seconds. So usually I want frames per second, bits per second, bytes per second, stuff like that, per second. Not to say you can't do per millisecond and that sort of thing, but usually we want per second. So the next thing we're going to do is create a CSV file. So basically we're exporting the trace file to a CSV format. Now if you caught on already, CSV means you can do anything with any program that will understand what a CSV file is. Alright, once you've created that CSV file, all you do is double click on it. You can also go to open or import. You can do a bunch of extra steps, but the easiest thing to do is wherever your file is. In my case it's test.csv. I put it on my desktop, click, boom, this pops up. So the text import wizard will appear, and the most important thing in this whole screen is this: make sure you have comma checked off. If you do not have comma checked off, then you're going to have a whole lot of formatting issues, and basically it can't figure out the delimiter of your CSV file. Now when we start the import process, I think it's really important for you to pay attention to your columns, that sort of thing, because I always like to put the length beside the time column, right? Just like this. You don't have to do that when you're in Wireshark, but at some point after you've imported it, I strongly encourage you to put them right beside each other. It just makes graphing them a lot easier. So from here we've got our time, we've got our length. We're going to go to data subtotals, and we want to group it by time, right? So whenever the time changes, it's going to do a total for us. And what is it going to total? This length column. So group by time, calculate subtotals for length, and use the function sum. If you pay attention here, we've got a few cool options. We got average, min, max. So if you want to do delta times and you want to find out that kind of thing, by all means you can play with that, but for now we're just doing sum. We want the total number of bytes per second. That's what we're doing here. And then from there we group our subtotals, and you can see when it's done you get this same thing in Excel. You get 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to click the number 2. When you do that, you get your subtotals. I know for a fact many people complain that the numbers quote unquote look plain. So by all means format them, put your commas in there. That's what we're doing here. So you just right click on the column, go to format cells, put your commas. If you have decimals, you can do your decimals. I typically don't have decimals in this example. It's bytes, so there's no such thing as 3.5 bytes. That's not helpful right now. And that's it. So now we've got this all done. Here's where the benefit is of having the two columns beside each other. We've got our time and our length. You're going to highlight both of those, and then literally you're going to hit the chart button. Oh, it kind of slid down a bit. Let me move that back up. There we go. And when you hit that chart button, the chart wizard will appear, and you can choose whatever format you want. It doesn't matter. So this is where you can just kind of take it to the next level, do what you like to do, and now you've got yourself a chart. One of the things I do encourage you to do with your charts is, it's kind of just some best practices, is to have bytes. So it's labeled, these are bytes, not bits, that sort of thing. I do have commas. And then down here we've got the time. If you notice, it says sum beside all of them. So that's a very simple exercise. If you don't want to see the sum there, just do a search and replace for space SUM. And that way, if you just did replace sum, it'll actually replace the formulas, right? So put a space before sum and replace sum with nothing. And then that way you'll just have the times on the bottom of the screen. In this case, length is here is my legend. I don't really need that. I can get rid of it. But nevertheless, I'm just leaving it for now. So that's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. So give it a try. You can do it with Excel. You can do it with OpenOffice. Knock yourself out. Have some fun with it. And have yourself a good day. Bye for now.